Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw eyes. Okay, Sharpies and then Sharpies, just so you can see what I'm doing. Let's get going. So mostly it's just about anatomy, so you just got to remember whenever you're working with a human head and you're going to draw the eyes, that's what I start out with, sockets and then actual eyeballs, Okay, so there's going to be the holes, there's going to be the retinas, and then you build on that. You decide, that was kind of weird, right? You decide where it's going to be and just work on anatomy behind it. Now, the other thing is, I do more realistic eyes, so I'm not going to be doing anime eyes for you and stuff like that. So that's the best thing I could tell you is that I'm going to be doing realistic eyes and building off that. So if that's what you want to learn, that's what we're going to do. Okay? So I kind of did it backwards. I've always taught you guys don't start with the eyes, like do the head first. So you just got to remember that. It's very simple. Just, the shape, the placement. I'm hitting other stuff here. And then the look, So roughly you kind of get what you're going to do and where it's going to be. So building off that, that's a quick sketch just to say, okay, so if that's where it's going to be, now I'm going to draw almond eyes, which are going to be basically the distance here is going to be the same distance between them too. So just kind of remember that too. So if I'm going to do the almond eyes like this, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it really quickly, this should be the same distance as if you have three eyes. That's how you kind of have to gauge and think about it. Is that the distance is 1, 2, 3, and that's roughly the distance between people's eyeballs. So just think about that, and then I draw in my pupils. But again, I'm also remembering that the whole eyeball is right here like this. So building on that, knowing that there's a roundness to it, I will build off of, sometimes you can see that. So, and not all people, but it helps to remember things like that whenever you are building. So now that you have that size, you got to remember, so your lid can kind of go up like this and come back down. There's the bottom of your eye. There's your pupil. And it's all centered on the eyeball inside there too. So, but the thing is, what also you got to remember is how much you're going to show. Like, because I'm going to be inking, I don't want to show the entire thing, and I'm not going to show the entire nose, but I am going to show the bridge just a little like that. So even though that's the distance between the two eyes, even though the distance is one eye, you're not going to, that's not the edge. That's just a mathematical guess, or a mathematical gauge, okay? So don't feel like you have to show the eye, it's just a sketch place for you, okay? And so from there, you just remember your anatomy and you can build off of that. So that being said, it comes down to what you're going to do. So let's do one real quick right here. Let's do a quick sketch of a head like that, roughly. I'm going to center it for the eyes. That's where I want it to go. Center the head, the nose, and the mouth. And so now I'm just going to kind of do a quick, does that look about right? I think so. So I'm gonna start building off of that, and then we'll play around with detail. Okay, so if I'm gonna put the eyes something like that, draw the almond, and that is about the same distance, so I'm gonna keep it like that. And since the circle's right there for the eye, I'm gonna draw the pupil a little like that. Again, these are sketch lines, so don't worry about, well, you should be drawing lightly anyway, so don't worry about permanence. We're just, working with sketch lines right now, okay? And let's see, I'm going to color that in just a little bit just to have a little fun for when I do, because I'm going to switch over to this in a second for the darker edges of it. So that's about what I want to do. There's going to be my underneath the eye. There's the top of the eyelid. Okay, so again, the bridge of the nose is in like this. So I'm not leaving an open space for the eyeball. I'm drawing the bridge. Okay. And there's going to be the top of the eyelid. Again, kind of like there's a skull right there. You got to think of your anatomy too. What's inside of there. And so since the skull pretty much gauges the rest of it or guides the rest of it, that's where we're going to go. Okay. Okay. So that being said, we can play around with this. So let's make a male eye and a female eye. And really, it's the same eye. There's no difference. Everybody has a slight difference in their eyes, but the only thing that you want to play around with is makeup or eyelashes, I guess, because it's not like you're going to draw makeup with these pens. You can, if you're shading and whatnot, you can do all that with makeup, but I'm just kind of playing around with this Sharpie here. So I'm going to draw like the inside of the eye, that little divot right there where the eye, you can see just the edge. And so the other bottom of the eye comes in like this. I'm going to draw the pupil like that. Well, let's do both sides. Like that. I'm going to draw the pupil like this. There's the bottom of the eye. And I'm going to add, watch this. I'm just going to add just a little bit of the outside like that, just to kind of highlight. I'm playing around with color now, so I'm kind of cheating. I'm just drawing a little bit of the highlight of the iris, just to kind of show you that we can have some fun with what we have to work with. And so I'm going to draw just a little bit of a lid like this, just to highlight that part, and then it's going to come in like this. We'll do the same thing over here. Keep it nice and thin and light and fun. And then you have another one down here, but you don't have to go so crazy. You can just, make it very subtle, is basically what I'm trying to say. So for the male eye, we're going to get real thick with that eyebrow. I'm going to do something like this. Something like that, right? And that can also lead into the bridge of the nose to kind of highlight that part of the eye. All right. So that is just building off of regular shapes. Now, when we're going to do the female eye, we're basically just going to highlight more. So we're going to make this thicker as if it's a thicker eyelash. And let's go ahead and add some lashes, Just go ahead and give them some subtle bumps. And we'll do some down at the bottom. The thing is, what you really want to do is look at reference. Don't just take a guess, And so I'm going to make this thicker. And I'm going to highlight that lid just a little bit more. You don't have to do that, but I'm doing it just to accent her eyeball. And so that's really what you want to do whenever you're playing around with the female eye, is you just add a little bit more here for the accent of lashes and makeup, and make a prettier eyebrow. Guys don't care, we're unless they're very particular about it. They're not as defined and pretty as women's. And that's all it really takes to, and still you do the same thing, do the bridge of the nose, just a little bit like that. You don't have to go crazy. And that's all you really got to do to differentiate or really focus on the detail that you're going to put into it. But other than that, that's pretty much it. You're just taking a skull and building on that. So if we're going to go around, and here's the skull, here's the nose, here's the teeth, right? Then we're going to put the eyeballs in like that. Okay, so from there, you're just going to start working on your anatomy. There's the eye there. There's the eye there. There's the top where the brow's going to be. The bridge of the nose coming down. Put that in. You're going to add your detail, and you're going to build off that. So same thing. I'm just going to draw. I like to do the lids because that helps me figure out where everything's going to be. Oh, and a lot of times too, when I'm working with these Sharpies, because these drawings are so small, I also kind of just imply the bottom of the eye. I let that iris be the edges down here. Here it's bigger, so I can actually draw them. But because I'm not, because this is a lot smaller, I am letting the the iris imply what's going on right here. So same thing I'm going to do. A prettier female eye on this side, and the big ugly hunkin' male eye on that. So there, you just kind of let anatomy guide where everything is going to be, and that's pretty much the entire thing. Your entire process of drawing is where the bones are placed. That's going to determine, that's a little squatty though, right? That's going to determine where all your pieces are. So let's give her a little smile, right? So that's going to determine your placement. So that's straight on. That's just the rough idea I do for eyes, and we'll get in later into more detailed and more precision of turns and things like that. So work on that. Work on your skulls, your placement, and your thicker lines, and we'll build on that. So let's get to drawing, right? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.